All right, this property is the distributive property, and this one is probably one that's new to most of us. The distributive property is a way that's going to help us be able to multiply, especially when we get to algebra. Seems a little bit silly to do it with numbers because we have order of operations that works beautifully. But whenever we work with letters, we won't be able to do the same things that we do with numbers. Okay, the distributive property, look what they say here. If you've got A times B plus C, they say that's the exact same thing as A times B. They get that from multiplying the A times the B plus the A times the C. We are distributing, which is exactly the way it sounds. I mean, distributing meaning, if you distribute, if you go somewhere and distribute food to the homeless, you're giving out food to each person, right? You're kind of, sending it out to everybody. That's what distribute means. Well, when it comes to mathematics, the word doesn't change really. We just apply it to mathematics. So, and now likewise, we could go backwards. Here we have B plus C times A, and they say that's the same thing as B times A. See, we're distributing that multiplication to each one of those items in the parentheses, plus C times A. Okay. Okay, let's look at it with numbers so that we can see that this does work, and then we'll do some more practice with it. All right, we have the exact same problem here, written twice. The first time I'm going to work it just using order of operations because we know that that works. So this says 5 times 9 plus 6. Now order of operations says I need to do the 9 plus 6 first. 9 plus 6 would be 15. And then I still have to multiply 5 times that. Multiplication comes after parentheses, and 5 times 15 would be 75. Okay, so we know what the answer should be. Let's do it again, but use the distributive property so that we can make sure that this does in fact work. The distributive property says I'm going to distribute that multiplication. So I'm going to multiply the 5 times the 9, which would be 45, and then the 5 times a positive 6, which would be a positive 30. Now I can add the two numbers together, which would be 75. You see, we get the exact same thing. It doesn't make a lot of sense to do it this way when we have just plain numbers, but that will not always be the case.